It's basically so that I can make sure that people who usually come to this class that aren't able to make it are able to join in later on in the day. So nice, slow, deep inhalations. Starting to ground ourselves into this moment, the now, as they say, right? This is the only real true thing that, that we correlate to time is really just now. Like tomorrow will eventually become the now, and then the next tomorrow will become the now. So it's just this constant string of now is really. So focusing our awareness on where we are, this present moment, which is now, helps us really connect and being mindful, right? Being mindful of what is happening right in this moment, how we're feeling. And using our breath to release tension, allowing more flow, right? This is a practice of how do we find more flow in life, where we're moving with the least resistance, feeling really good. And regardless of what's happening, we have always have. There's always going to be life's difficulties and challenges, but how do we navigate those waters with staying present and grounded? And let your arms drop down and let's go into knocking on the door of life. Nice loose arms, just turning from the hips and the waist. Especially in the morning, right? These areas that tend to hold a lot of tension, the lower back for most of us is one of the areas that tends to be problematic. So we're just helping to first create some movement, right? Where there's movement, there's flow. And let's come up below the collarbone. It's good to see everyone. I missed you all. And let's come to the top of the shoulders. And then back down below the collarbone. And then all the way back down to the waist. And then let's go into water waves. So just brushing the space around you. Imagine we're just dusting. We're dusting our personal space. You want to call it your energetic space, the space around us that we think about as a little container of protection. We're just allowing ourselves to just brush away anything that's causing some lack of clarity, maybe stress and tension, brushing it away. I think there's a reason why we call it personal space. We call in Qigong, this is our energetic field because it's an extension of us. It is part of who we are. Our hearts, this, as they say, can be measured. The electrical blueprint, um, just like they're, all snowflakes are different. Our heartbeats and the frequency in which our hearts beat can be measured from, I think, like 6 or 12 feet away. So we do have this energetic portion of ourselves. And I like to think when we talk about personal space, it's when people are infiltrating that, right? It's your space. So we're just helping to kind of clear away anything that might have been coming into that space, maybe unwanted, and then start to slow down. And we're going to go right into a couple of clearing and cleansing, starting with a pump. So, hands above the head, right? This again is when we bring the arms down as we bend the knees, and then straighten the knees as the arms come back, and then bend and straighten. So we bend and straighten, bend and straighten. And this particular exercise, since we're clearing, is great to have a nice exhale through the mouth. So a clearing, cleansing exercise, but it's really fantastic for the lower back. It's helping to build some strength in the legs, activating the pumping mechanism that helps return blood to the heart. And it sends energy to the lower back to help loosen up all of the tendons and ligaments and the spinal column itself. And one more. And now you can just slow down and starts to get the heart pumping a little bit. Should feel good, right? We are bringing a lot of oxygen into our body when we engage in those pumping actions while breathing. Let's do the same similar thing, but now we're focusing on the area between the shoulder blades, the head, neck, and shoulders. So this is clearing. So we start with the arms out to the side. Nice inhale through the nose, and then just let the arms down and exhale. And then inhale. And this time, as we exhale, one arm comes in front, one arm comes in back as you turn and rotate. And then inhale back to the center, and then exhale to the opposite side and back to center. So see, I'm also pumping with my legs. So it's bending and straightening, pumping and straightening. So also activating the pump mechanisms of the lower body, but rotating and bringing one arm in front and one arm in back helps to open up the space in the upper back. And start to slow down. Okay, now that I keep making my yoga mat askew. So now let's do a little stretch of the head, neck, and shoulders. So dragon stretches its tail. We're going to have our arms out to the side to your left so that you're looking at your palms. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, turn so the palms face away from you and then stretch across, especially that top arm. So your left arm is going to go away from you, like you're pushing towards the side of the room. And as you do, you're going to turn and look in the other direction. So you should feel a stretch, maybe through the neck. For me, I feel it a lot through the forearm. Just take a nice deep breath. We'll stay here for just a minute or a second. And then you're going to turn back and look as you draw your hands back in towards you. Nice inhale. And then exhale, stretching away. And then inhale. You can even spread the fingers of your left hand, right? You should feel a nice stretch all the way into the fingers. So we're going nice and slow. Think about still elongating the inhale and exhale. So nice slow inhale and a nice slow exhale. It gives time for those tendons and ligaments to get a nice stretch without sharp, quick movements, right? We allow the tendons to really feel that stretch. Now let's drop the arms down for a moment. Close your eyes. Feel maybe the difference between the right arm and left arm. And then let's bring the hands now over to the right. Take a nice gaze at your palm. Take a nice inhale and then exhale, stretching the arms away from you, and then turn and look in the other direction. And then slow inhale. And then slow exhale. Stretching all the way through the fingertips. And one more. Nice inhale. And exhale. And then let the arms drop down. Okay, let's do Dao Yin first. We're going to do some Chi massage, but Dao Yin, which is those are the exercises in Qigong that look a little bit more yoga-esque. We're going to start with bringing your feet together for this particular one, or closer together, and then clasp your fingers together except for your index finger, and start right at the center of the chest. And then as we inhale, extend the finger and the hands all the way above you. So you're stretching way above. And you can even very gently, you might want to engage your glutes just for a minute and then look up slightly. So there's just a very slight back bend here. So you're stretching up towards the earth, feeling your feet pressing into the ground. And then take your hands, so you're cradling your head, your index fingers are still pointed. And then we're going to bend the knees. And as we do, we're going to curl almost like you're wrapping yourself into a little ball. squeezing down. And then as we inhale, like a spring, right, you're going to reach up and extend. Inhale. Hands come to the back of your head. So your elbows come a little closer together as you bend the knees, like you're making yourself a little tight ball. And then, like a spring, right? We spring up and stretch. And again. And then this time, we're going to hang all the way forward. So drop the arms so if they touch the floor, it's great. If not, you can keep them on your shins or on your thighs. But you want to be in somewhat of a forward bend so that we can release the lower back. And then breathe deeply. Nice inhale. And a nice exhale. If your belly might even be resting on your upper thighs, and that is totally fine. You want to be comfortable here. So my knees are bent. Breathing into the space, the kidney area, a little bit of a stretch in the hamstring. And then we're going to clasp the fingers together like we're making a little basket. And then slowly, I'm going to roll all the way up. And as we do, we're going to bring the hands up all the way above the head, reaching up towards the sky. And then we'll go into a little balance here. So come up to the balls of your feet. Breathe. And then you bring the heels back down. Keep your arms raised above you. And then we're going to press into the feet, both feet, nice and firmly. And we're just going to lean over, stretching over to your left. Breathing. Nice inhale and exhale. Breathing into the space between the ribs. And then inhale back to the center. And then exhale now, pressing in again to the feet. It's going to be your anchor, right? And then very gently reaching over now to the right. The better our intercostal muscles are nice and pliable. The intercostal muscles, though, that's the tissue that's between each rib. It's stretchy. Well, it should be stretchy. And it can get a little hardened as we get older. So things that we can do to help increase the pliability is going to help us breathe better. Our lungs are going to be able to expand better. So this is a great way of stretching the intercostal muscles. Come back up. And now we're going to exhale the arms just to about shoulder height. So your palms are facing the sides of the room. My wrist is bent so that my fingers are facing up. You might already feel a nice stretch throughout the forearms. Press away from you. Nice inhale and exhale. We're just working now on the muscles of the heart and the pericardium and the lung meridians. This is stretching those lines. Now what we're going to do is just turn so that your fingers face the back of the room now. So your wrist is still extended, but your fingers are facing more towards the back of the room. That just changes where the stretch is directed. And now we're going to turn so the fingers are facing down. And then lastly, we're going to bring the fingers up and then slightly, this one's a little harder to do because we're probably all a little tight here, is that you're bringing the fingers so they're kind of facing forward. If your arms are getting tired, you can give yourself a break. That's totally fine. And let your arms drop down. So all of those tendons and ligaments, those little muscles get a nice stretch, right? And then our fingers will have more circulation and energy because we're stretching the meridian lines. The better they're stretched and open, the more energy can flow through. Okay, chi massage. We're going to start at the sternum. So for this particular iteration, you can either knock. We can also take your fingertips and tap if that feels better. So we're just working our way up and down the sternum. Or you can use your fingertips. There's a lot of pressure points here that have to do with emotional balance. You can even take, let's pause our chi massage for one moment and take the first two fingers of each hand and then press them right at the center of your sternum. Firm pressure, and then start making small circles. If you are feeling particularly anxious, there's something that's been going on, or maybe you just had an encounter that did not make you feel good and maybe incited some anxiety, this is a great acupuncture point, an acupressure point called Ren 17 that is great at helping to balance emotions. You can go a little bit faster or a little bit slower. I'm going to help this little dog here get her toy. Here you go. And then we'll go back into knocking. So let's knock up and down the sternum. And let's come over to the front of the right shoulder. If you think about, let's travel down the inside of the arm. So the inside of the arm traveling down to the fingers. Think about when we're babies, or if you have babies, had a baby, I've held a baby, when they're new, especially, right? What happens after they eat? They get trapped gas. They get things get stuck. And what do? We literally tap on their, that's qigong. We're helping to move energy so that things are able to flow more freely. We're literally like little babies, and we're just giving ourselves these tools and techniques to help move energy so that we feel better, that we release areas of stagnation. And then come over to the front of the left shoulder. And then let's travel down the inside of the arm and then up the outside. Except we have a lot more stagnation than babies. Like we have decades of accumulation, right? So we're just slowly working to use a particular modality to help improve how things are moving in our body. Let's come to the lower back. And then let's travel down from the hamstrings down to the back of the knees, down the calf, and then up the inside. back up to the lower abdomen. And then release. And then let's just shake everything out. And then start to slow down. Okay, now let's get into the real good stuff. Let's start in our posture, lower, embrace the tree. So making a circle with the arms, the palms facing up. And let's just do a little inventory here. So this is the posture, but think about our alignment. Our alignment's really important. We think about rivers and bodies of water that have this directional movement. The river is important, but what also is as important is the banks. The banks of the river help keep the river where the river's supposed to be and helping it achieve that flow state. So just like that, the structure of how we are organized is really important. So aligning, meaning that we're not working against gravity, right? That's going to take a lot more energy and be exhausted at the end of the day. So learning to align knees over the ankle, hips over the knees, shoulders over your waist and hips, and then bringing the head back, because this is something that we see often, right? We have this protraction of the head, and that puts a lot of strain in this whole area. So helping ourselves kind of reorganize and tucking the chin back in slightly so that you're aligned. Energy can flow better, blood can flow better. We're preserving energy versus leaking. So our structure is holding our energy, and our posture influences if energy is flowing more freely, if it's flowing more stagnantly. And then let's start with Buddha holding up the earth. So we're going to draw the hands up. They spiral in and then out and up. And then exhale, palms face down, spiral back in, and then to the starting position. And again, inhale. And exhale. Nice and soft. You think of moving softly. What does that mean and feel to you? Or effortlessness, right? Having some laxity in the arms. Like we need the structure, it's important, but then we need to be flexible. And as we exhale and come down, you can even slightly bend the knees. Like think about we're connecting down to the earth. And then as we inhale, there's this elongation and extension that's happening from the feet all the way to the crown of the head. If the mind wanders, just gently reorient your mind to what you are doing right now. This time at the top of the inhale, let's leave the left hand facing up, right hand facing the earth, connecting to the universe above, the earth below. And then turn so your palms are facing one another. And the next exhale, you're going to drop that top arm all the way down, like we're consolidating, pressing in. And then we'll rotate like you're holding a chi ball, and we'll rotate 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then as we inhale now, the right arm is going to float all the way up. And then the palms turn so they're facing the universe and the earth below again. Nice inhale. Think about absorbing, like a flower absorbing sun or the rain. We're absorbing a particular frequency of energy. Palms turn so they're facing one another. And then we're just think about taking all of that energy and we're consolidating it so that we're able to absorb it into especially the lower dantian, that area that has a lot of the elixir field. It's a reservoir. And then turn 3 times. And then inhale. Think about plugging in. Right? We plug appliances that are battery operated, or that are using electricity. Like we plug it in order to charge devices up. Think about we're plugging ourselves into these very different, but very much the same, like the yin yang symbol, drawing in these 2 energies and then storing it in our battery. The whole premise of if you know about forest bathing, some cultures inhale, especially I think in um, Japan, there's a term for it, but it's you're bathing in the forest. There's something that happens to our energetic, emotional centers, even physical, that is very healing, right? You're essentially connecting into nature. So we're tapping into a version of that, and then exhale, consolidate, and then learning to how to harness that, store it, so that we can access it when we need. And let's just hold the chi ball for a moment. So tapping in, going outside, being in nature, going for a walk, putting your bare feet on the ground outside when it's not freezing. Ways of recharging. And then once we plug in, then we can work with the energy within ourselves. So we're going into embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. So it starts on the exhale. So we'll start with an inhale, actually. And then as we exhale, you're going to spread the hands away from one another and then bring them back together, the back of the hands. And then inhales, we roll up to about shoulder height. Now you're going to take the hands and push them forward. So we exhale. And then as we inhale, your arms are above. Make a big circle all the way down as the inhale. So again, exhale and then roll up. Inhale, exhale, push forward. Make a little diamond with your finger and your thumb. And then extend up and then inhale all the way down. And exhale. Back of the hands together as we roll up, inhaling, and then exhale, push forward. And then inhale, extend up, big circle all around as we inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale, push forward, and then inhale all the way around. So embracing the tiger. This is one of my favorites because it's two very distinct, just like the sun and the moon, two very distinct energies. Tiger, think of like dynamic and fierce and bold and courageous. And think of the mountain as that inner part of yourselves, that deep inner stillness that was there from the beginning and will always be there. That firm, very yin, cooling, nourishing, unchanging, that deep wisdom, right? We're embracing both those aspects of our self. Inhale all the way down. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale, push forward. And then inhale. Like embracing life and all its complications, right? But I think if we really kind of have a certain perspective, how glorious it is. And that we're constantly changing and evolving and growing. And we get these tools that help us along the way. When things feel a little bit out of alignment. Coming back to the center, coming back to ourselves. One more. And come all the way back down to the chi ball. And let the arms drop down. And let's go into pulling down the skies. So inhale the arms down, around, and up. Palms face down and the hands float all the way back down. And inhale. And exhale. One last time. Inhale. And exhale, bringing the feet together. One hand on top of the other. And let's pause here. And bamboo in the wind, feeling how strong you are, right? Feeling your feet, feeling your legs, your spine, nice and tall. And the crown of your head reaching up towards the sky, letting the shoulders be relaxed. Standing tall and proud, relaxed and flexible and humble, all at the same time. And then when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone.
That was great. It had almost all my favorite moves.
I was thinking about you, Cynthia, when I was putting that together.
It really did have them all except for cloudy hands.
I know. We'll bring that back soon, I promise. Everyone, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.
You too, Erin.
Take care.
Thank you.